Good morning, class. Welcome to the sixth and final lecture of our academic writing course. Last week, we successfully finished the results section. Today, we're moving on to the final part of your research paper, the conclusion and future work. Here is our agenda for this crucial last lesson. We will start with Section A, discussing the necessary moves, tenses, and modals you need to use in the conclusion. This is key for proper academic tone. Then, we will spend the most time on Section B, writing the conclusion paragraphs. Unlike the introduction, the conclusion usually consists of two distinct paragraphs, the main summary and a final impact statement. So we'll specifically look at B2, the second paragraph. As with the previous class, you'll notice I've crossed out Section C, common weaknesses. Instead of focusing on simple errors, we will concentrate on the logic and impact of your final words. Finally, Section D will sum up today's lesson, completing the cycle of the entire research article. Okay, let's jump straight into Section A. As you can see on this page, we immediately ask GPT about the move, tense, and modal used in a conclusion section. The box above is the conclusion part of a paper it analyzed, and the questions below it challenge the structure. Let's look at the AI's analysis. The conclusion section is split into two clear moves, future work and summary. The core question is, should I write the future work first or the summary first? The AI's answer, which we will adopt as our model, is that the future work comes first, followed by the summary. The response clearly explains that ending with the summary allows the paper to close on a strong declarative statement about what has been achieved, focusing on contribution rather than speculation. This establishes a crucial structure. Now, let's discuss the rationale behind this specific sequence. Let's compare this to the conventional academic structure, often visualized by the hourglass model on the right. The hourglass represents the well-known IM, RAD structure: introduction, methods, results, and discussion. Notice that the introduction starts broad and narrows down, while the discussion section does the opposite. In the discussion, you typically present the main contribution, discuss study limitations, and conclude with future research. In this conventional model, the summary often precedes the future research. Therefore, our model, future work first, is not common in research papers. However, we prioritize this alternative order for pedagogical and rhetorical reasons. Why this order? Ending with the summary ensures your paper concludes with a confident, results-focused declaration, giving you the best impact. By having the summary last, it acts as a final echo of the abstract, successfully connecting back to the abstract at the start, thus creating a complete, full-circle argument. The future work, when placed first, simply helps in broadening the scope of the paper before the final, definitive statement. We have analyzed the what and the why of the conclusion structure in Section A. Now, we proceed to Section B, writing the conclusion paragraphs, which is the how-to part of today's lecture. This section will guide you through crafting each paragraph with maximum coherence and impact. As you can see on the agenda, Section B is divided into two parts: B1, the first paragraph, and B2, the second paragraph. Based on our established structure, B1 is the future work paragraph. This first paragraph needs to effectively transition from the specific results of your discussion section into the broader, forward-looking implications of your study. The writing here should be appropriately speculative, utilizing a clear topic sentence to introduce new research avenues, and then detailing potential projects or improvements using modal verbs like could or might. B2 is the summary paragraph. This is arguably the most important section, as it represents your paper's final word. In B2, you must revert to a retrospective view, restating your main contribution and key findings using definitive language and the present perfect tense. We will focus heavily on how to construct these sentences to achieve maximum declarative impact, effectively mirroring the concise power of your abstract. Let's start with B1, the future work paragraph. We are now analyzing B1, the first paragraph of your conclusion, which is the future work section. This slide shows a 9-sentence model paragraph, which we will use to dissect the proper structure. Remember our principle: Future work is speculative and forward-looking. The paragraph starts with the topic sentence, which is sentence 1. Many avenues exist for future research and improvement of our system. This clear statement effectively broadens the scope and introduces the main theme. The subsequent sentences 2 through 5 provide the first main set of supporting details. They list potential improvements that could be implemented using clear examples like existing methods for extracting the best passages could be implemented, which is sentence 2, and mentioning specific techniques like domain knowledge, heuristics, and natural language parsing techniques, which is sentence 3. Notice the consistent use of the modal verb could, reflecting the speculative nature. The final block, sentences 6 through 9, introduces a second, more complex direction, making the transformation process dynamic, which is sentence 7. This demonstrates a hierarchical structure, moving from simpler improvements to a more complex, novel research direction. This careful layering of ideas ensures the paragraph is coherent and rich in detail. We concluded the structural review. Let's now examine the actors and actions on this slide to understand the required tone of future work. The red text indicates the actor, which refers to the subject, while the blue text indicates the key action/verb phrase. In future work, we intentionally avoid using we will or we should, which can sound overly assertive or promise future work that may not happen. Instead, we use impersonal or passive actors. Observe how the subject changes to distribute the focus. We start broad with many avenues in sentence 1 and existing methods in sentence 2. In sentences 3 and 4, the actors are technical concepts, domain knowledge, and multiple transformations. This keeps the focus firmly on the technical potential. In sentence 7, the actor is another direction of research, which acts as a transition, subtly broadening the scope. Only in sentence 9 do we introduce an active agent, the system, demonstrating the practical execution of the speculative idea. All actions are framed using the modals, could be implemented, could be used, or would be to make. This objective language ensures the paragraph presents possibilities, not promises, which is crucial for academic integrity. Let's look closely at the tense and modal choices in the future work paragraph. The key idea here is that the main verb tense provides the framework, but the modals carry the actual speculative meaning. The most powerful tool here is the modal verb could. Look at how it dominates the action in the sentences detailing specific improvements, which can be noticed in sentence 2, sentence 3, sentence 4, sentence 5, sentence 8, sentence 9. Could is the perfect choice because it presents the potential for an action, the technical capacity, without committing the researcher to performing it. We also see the simple present tense used for foundational statements. Many avenues exist, sentence 1. This is a statement of current opportunity that justifies the ensuing speculation. When introducing a more complex, conditional idea, the language shifts to would be, as seen in sentence 7. Yet another direction of research would be to make the transformation process dynamic. This construction is often employed when proposing a conceptual or structural change, framed as a desired outcome or necessary condition, still falling under the umbrella of hypothetical future work. The key takeaway here is to minimize declarative statements and maximize the use of modals, especially the helping verb could, to ensure the entire B1 paragraph is appropriately speculative and forward-looking, thus maintaining academic objectivity. Now, let's wrap up B1 by looking at the functional phrases that manage the paragraph's flow. We have analyzed the structure, the actors, and the tense. Let's conclude B1 by looking at the functional phrases, the glue that holds your speculative ideas together. This is all about ensuring clear cohesion for your reader. The phrases highlighted in red are the navigational tools. The paragraph needs to tell the reader exactly what to expect next. The entire theme is established in sentence 1 with for future research and improvement. The first block of supporting sentences is clearly marked by for example, found in sentence 2. This phrase sets up an expectation that detailed instances will follow, such as the use of specific techniques and combining transformations. seen in sentence 3 to sentence 5. To signal a major thematic shift, we use the strong transitional adverb additionally, found in sentence 6. This introduces the topic of creating phrase transforms. This transition is reinforced by the phrase, yet another direction of research in sentence 7, which formally introduces the complex dynamic transformation idea. This is an excellent way to elevate the tone and importance of subtopic. Finally, the reintroduction of for example, seen in sentence 8, ensures that the abstract idea of a dynamic process is immediately grounded in practical, conditional application, thereby completing the hierarchical structure of the paragraph. So far, we've focused on content and coherence. Now let's address style. A 9-sentence paragraph can quickly become monotonous if all the sentences are structured the same way. This is where we introduce a powerful resource, the art of styling sentences, which outlines 20 distinct sentence patterns. Sentence 1 uses pattern 1. The basic subject-verb construction. Many avenues exist. This is a straightforward topic sentence. Sentence 2 uses pattern 13. Introductory modifier accompanied by the main clause. For example, existing methods. The introductory phrase creates flow and context before the main idea. Sentence 3 is pattern 10, the parallel series. Domain knowledge, heuristics, and natural language parsing techniques are listed in a balanced, rhythmic series, which is highly effective for technical lists. Sentence 4 reverts to the simple pattern 1, basic subject-verb construction. Sentence 5 uses pattern 2, the basic subject-verb-object construction, along with the modifying clause. Questions could be routed. The modifying clause adds necessary detail and precision. By consciously varying these styles, you keep the reader engaged, demonstrating sophisticated control over your prose. Let's now look at the remaining sentences, 6 through 9, to complete our style analysis. We continue our stylistic review using the framework from The Art of Styling Sentences, now looking at the second half of the B1 paragraph, which introduces the more complex idea of a dynamic transformation process. Sentence 6 employs pattern 14, the delayed subject. Additionally, an interesting direction to explore is creating phrase transforms. By delaying the subject, which means creating phrase transforms, the sentence builds anticipation and gives rhetorical weight to the new idea. Sentence 7 utilizes pattern 3, infinitive subject complement. Yet another direction of research would be to make the transformation process dynamic. The infinitive complement focuses the reader's attention on the goal or purpose of this new research direction. Sentence 8 returns to pattern 13, introductory modifier plus main clause. For example, transformations where we expect high precision could be submitted first. The introductory modifier smoothly prepares the reader for the practical illustration that follows. Finally, sentence 9 uses a variation of pattern 13 with a compound predicate. Based on the responses received, the system could try lower precision transforms or fall back to the original query. The introductory modifying phrase provides the necessary condition, and the compound predicate efficiently lists the two possible actions the system could take. This combination of styles handles the increasing complexity of the ideas effectively, concluding the paragraph with a high degree of structural sophistication.